TX gain is 40 dBi, RX gain 37.6 dBi, and the G over T bigger than 17.7 dBk, and this allows you to really work in the edges of the footprint and still get a decent signal from your satellite. And really important, the easy installation and minimal maintenance. Most parameters are auto-adjusting during the lifetime of the antenna. And there is a built-in global satellite library, so that means that during your commissioning, which will be explained in a separate training, you can use a known satellite to set up your bow offsets and do your calibrations before shifting to the satellite where you are going to communicate on. And there is absolutely no need for pre-tuning, so before installation there is no work to be done preparing for the installation. You can just simply install it on a vessel, run your cables, connect it, and setting up the antenna and getting it into the network should be an easy job. Another key feature on the antenna, the gyro-free search. For vessels where there is no gyro installed or where it's difficult to connect or where you don't trust your gyro signal, so you can always go to the gyro-free search, which basically means that the antenna will calculate elevation based on the position and then start an azimuth sweep. An azimuth sweep 360 degrees with an elevation range of plus and minus 4 degrees. And within that range it should find your satellite. It's important to know that the gyro, if you would enable your gyro, that the system is equipped with two search patterns, the search 1, which is the azimuth sweep, and a search 3, which is a spiral search, a box search with an azimuth range of 3 degrees, elevation range of 4 degrees. And so it is important that if you enabled your gyro, that you calibrate the bow offset and make sure that the gyro is accurate, because if the gyro would drift a few degrees, it would point to a location next to your satellite, start your search 3, which is only 3 degrees in azimuth, and most likely it will never find your signal. Also the loss of signal, so if you have enabled your gyro and for some reason the system loses the NMEA input, the gyro-free search will automatically be enabled. On the front of the ACU we've got the 3 maintenance ports, the top one, the PC port, center one, the DN port, and the lower one, the DHCP Ethernet port. And the center port, the DN port, has basically 2 functions. First function is you can copy the log files, the information which is stored on the inside the antenna, and you can copy that to a memory stick. So any memory stick you will put in there will open the USB function and would allow you to copy the files onto the memory sticks, which you then can analyze on your laptop or send to the support desk. Disadvantage of doing it this way is that you will get all the information from the ACU on the memory stick. So if there is 5 months, 6 months information, it will all be there. If you would connect your laptop to the Ethernet port, you would be able to download the log file using Aptus. And then it would ask you if you want to have 1 day, 1 week, 1 month. Second function on the DN port, the firmware upgrade. It is possible to send a memory stick to the vessel, having the ship's electrician or whoever is on board to perform the firmware update from the memory stick. The only thing is that the memory stick needs to be configured a certain way for the ACU to find the software. And with the system, you will get a small memory stick, and that memory stick will be configured the way it should be. And if you have a copy of that, you can use it on any system and update firmware. Of course, doing a firmware update from the DN port or the Ethernet port when you are on board is just as easy. To control and set up the antenna, there is different ways of connecting. First way would be your GUI, your graphical user interface, which is the embedded firmware on the GUI board inside the ACU. And from there you can do basically everything you need to do, setting up the antenna, uploading firmware, things like that. You can connect on the IP on the front or through LAN, and also you can go through the Wi-Fi. And there is Aptus, basically the program we recommend you to use for this setting up of the antenna. Basically there is Aptus PC, which allows you to run it on your PC, your Windows PC. And there is Aptus Mobile, and Aptus Mobile is an app you can download. And Aptus Mobile will run on the iPad or iPhone. And nowadays it's downloadable for your Android phone as well. So there is many ways to connect to the antenna and setting up the antenna. And in a separate tutorial, I will show you how to set up the antenna using the Aptus on your laptop. Looking at this page, you can see the screenshot of the embedded web server, which is inside the ACU. In order to reach that page, you can connect your laptop to the Ethernet port on the front of the ACU or to the Ethernet port on the back of the ACU. Connecting your laptop, starting up your web browser, and type in the IP address 10.10.1.1. It will get you to a login page, and from that login page you can then either select to go in as monitor and control or monitor only. The code, the access code to get in, the username is Intellian. The password is 123456778. And once you're done that, you get to this page. And from this page, you can basically set up the antenna as if you're using Aptus. So you can do your bow offset calibrations, you do your firmware updates, you can do your log file downloads. And even if you've done a firmware update and it's for some reason not working as you expected, you can roll back, because the previous version will not be deleted from the system. It will still be available inside the ACU. Some key features on the Ethernet port on the front of the ACU. As I said already, it's a DHCP port, which means that as long as your laptop is set for DHCP mode, you can just connect and start Aptus or start your web server. Aptus, you select your network connection, type in the IP address 10.10.1.1 and connect, and you would be connected to the antenna, and you can do your setups. If the antenna is out of the box, the default IP address in Aptus, the 192.168.0.223, should also work, but in an operational system this IP address will be changed if you're using, for example, an iDirect Open AMIP protocol. So yeah, you can log in. You can log into the IARM as well, your web server, and do firmware updates or download the log files. From that point, you can also telnet to your modem if that's connected, or use iSight. And if there is no protection behind the ACU, if this is connected straight into the modem, then you would even be able to go onto the internet from this port as well.